Hi, I'm Wayne Alaroot for Personal Liberty. Memorial Day may be over, but we are reminded of the sacrifices of our military heroes by a high-profile story in the news right now. We have an explosive international incident developing over the false imprisonment of a U.S. Marine hero in Mexico. Remarkably, our President and Secretary of State, as of this recording, have not even chosen to bring this issue up with the President of Mexico. I believe the United States has great leverage in this situation if we had a real leader running this country. That's a gigantic if. Unfortunately, we have the weak, feckless, neutered, bowing Barack Hussein Obama. Our president doesn't understand American exceptionalism. He doesn't believe in it. Our president doesn't believe in the greatness of our military and doesn't understand how to use them. He certainly doesn't understand what Donald Trump would call the art of the deal. It's time to explain the situation to our southern neighbor and offer him a deal he can't refuse. This is the letter a real leader would send to the President of Mexico to rescue a true American hero who is languishing in a filthy, dangerous Mexican jail under false pretenses. Dear President Enrique Peña Nieto, greetings from the United States of America. You know, the great nation just above your crime-ridden country that has taken in millions of your citizens and spent hundreds of billions of dollars in welfare, food stamps, housing allowances, healthcare, education, police and prison costs, free meals at school, and even income tax credits for your ex-citizens. I think you owe it to us to listen to what we have to say. I write you today because you're holding one of our citizens hostage in one of the hellholes that you call a federal prison in Mexico. The citizen you're holding is my Marine. His name is Sergeant Andrew Tamaresi. He's an American hero. During the 4 years he served in the U.S. Marines, he did not one but 2 tours in Afghanistan. While on the battlefield, he saved the lives of 8 Marines, and in a separate incident, saved a Marine from bleeding to death after that soldier lost both legs from an IED explosion. This American hero is now languishing in your prison in Tijuana, Mexico. What crime did he commit? Murder? Robbery? Kidnapping? Drug smuggling? No. Those are the things that happen to law-abiding citizens every day in your country. But Sergeant Tamaresi didn't do any of those bad things. He accidentally drove across the border in his own car with 3 legally owned guns. That's his crime, bad driving. This American hero entered your country because of poor signage leading to your border outside San Diego, and was possibly all exasperated because of his PTSD. He was probably confused. So as a result of that honest mistake, my Marine has been under constant death threat from Mexican drug gangs in your prison. Because you can't control your own violent prisoners in your own prisons, my Marine has been isolated in a filthy prison cell, chained to his bed for weeks. This is called torture, and it's a violation of his civil and human rights. I want to make sure you understand the gravity of this situation. Your Mexican citizens enter our country illegally, and we let them live and work here. Our citizens are kind-hearted enough to oppose deportation of millions of your citizens for fear of breaking up their families. We hire your citizens and provide them with a better life than they ever had in Mexico. They send money home to Mexico that keeps your economy afloat. That money comes from our taxpayers. Even Mexican felons are treated better in our prisons and our legal system than they are in your country. That's why your citizens are willing to die to escape to our country. Let's discuss your military. This U.S. Marine hero made a mistake wandering into your country by mistake, but your military has purposely wandered onto U.S. soil many times, which is a violation of our laws. But we have chosen not to arrest your soldiers. We've given our southern neighbors the benefit of the doubt. Is this how you treat us in return? Let's review the direct military aid we've gifted to your country. Between 2008 and 2011, the Department of Defense of this country gave almost $500 million worth of equipment to Mexican security forces, including planes, Black Hawk helicopters, and scanners. Last year alone, we trained over 3,000 Mexican troops, and all this money came from U.S. taxpayers like Sergeant Tamaresi's parents. My Marine was armed with 3 firearms because he has the constitutional right to own and possess those firearms in the United States of America. I understand that your country does not have those same rights. That's too bad for you and your citizens. I've noticed that even though you have disarmed your citizens, gun violence is out of control in Mexico. It's quite strange how in your gun-free country there are incredible numbers of gun murders. It appears that taking guns away from law-abiding citizens has not worked out very well for your disarmed law-abiding citizens. I understand that you have issues keeping your citizens from crossing over into our country and keeping your drug lords from smuggling drugs into our country. Until now, we have never properly addressed those issues with you. I think that time has come, but we'll deal with those issues at a later date. Right now, there's only one issue on the plate. Rest assured, the future of American-Mexican relations depend on the resolution of this issue. I hope you will consider this a formal but friendly request, as one neighbor to another. As the Commander-in-Chief of Sergeant Tom Moresi, I'm giving you until 5 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time tomorrow to return my Marine, along with his truck and weapons, to the U.S. border crossing in San Diego. I will have the appropriate U.S. officials and military officers waiting there at precisely 5 p.m. Pacific to inspect the condition of my Marine and to report his physical and mental condition to me immediately. And I expect him to be in perfect health. If you choose to disregard my simple and reasonable friendly request, please be aware that I have already ordered the United States Marine Corps Commandant at Camp Pendleton to have his 100,000 Marines stand to and ready to proceed into Mexico to retrieve my Marine. One way or another, my Marine is coming home. Whether you send him home or we have to come get him, we leave no man behind. If we are forced to retrieve Sergeant Tom Moresi at great effort and expense to the U.S. government, we will also send you a bill for the $500 million or so we've spent on training and equipment for your military since 2008. I'll deal with the hundreds of billions of dollars we've spent on housing your citizens illegally in our country at a future date, after this incident has been resolved to my satisfaction. This is not a threat. This is a promise. I pray for your sake and your citizens' safety that you choose to do the right thing, neighbor. But one thing is for sure. One way or another, my Marine is coming home by tomorrow at 5 p.m. Sincerely, the President of the United States. Oh, and a quick P.S. Semper Fi. That is the message a real American president would give to Mexico. Instead of bringing our Marine home from Mexico, President Obama chose a photo op on Memorial Day in Afghanistan. That's all you need to know about Barack Hussein Obama. I'm Wayne Allen Root for Personal Liberty. See you next week. God bless America and that heroic U.S. Marine chained to his bed in that rotting hellhole of a Mexican prison. Let's all pray for his swift release.